Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is a follow-up on the last video that I posted about financial designations, in particular the CFA and the CAIA. And the last video that I posted was about a Q&A that I did with one of my followers. And at the end of that video, I decided to shed some light on this particular topic, which is a CAIA exam and how to get ahead of your competition. But at the time, because the video was already far too long, and I believe that it's good to break down these topics in tiny pieces in order for you to better absorb the content, I decided now to post this video specifically about the exam and again how to get an edge on the candidates that you will be contending with in order to get a passing score on the exam. First of all, leading up to the exam, and this is where the foundations of your success for the exam are laid down. Of course, as I mentioned in many videos before, for me one of the greatest factors that dictates or determines the success of a candidate is to start early enough. And in my case, I began my preparation for the exam at the exact day the registration opened, and so it was on October 3rd of 2022, and that particular day I registered on the website. I paid for the registration for the exam. The exam would be on March 2023, and so we were still 6 months away from that particular date, and I received the materials that same day, and I started studying right then and there. And I believe in consistency, and that's the way you should go ahead and basically prepare your exam. And why is that? Especially for those folks who have a full-time job, because you never know what's going to happen. Life comes in between our schedule, and so there are other things that we need to take care in our personal life, in our professional life, social life, and so sometimes your schedule is disrupted by these factors. But of course, your life is always the most important thing, and if you need to interrupt your schedule to attend an important issue in your family life, your professional life, or whatever, you should do so. And if you start your preparation for the exams early enough, this should not be a make or break decision in terms of your preparation. And so that is why I'm a strong believer that you should start very early as you can in your preparation for the exam. However, and based on my observations, I should say that I cannot put a percentage on that, but I would say that a big glut of candidates simply does not heed this advice. And why I know this? Because I had a first-hand proof of why this is the case. And so just to give you some context on what I did, let me just put here some bullets. So on October 3rd, let's just put this in caps, October 3rd 2022, I began my preparation, my exam prep, right? Prep. Exam day was on March 31st of next year. So in this case, it was on 2023, right? And so this was the timeline that I had my preparation. Of course, I was working full-time, so I had to make sure every day and every particular study session counted. And I recall that by around December, I bought 3 mock exams from Edge Designations, and this is where the key part that makes this video such an important piece and make it worthwhile to post this is that I got access to a WhatsApp group of other March 2023 exam candidates. All right. And which all of whom have also bought Edge materials, prep materials, right? And so the interesting thing was that by December, let's just say that we are quote unquote halfway through our preparation. By this time, and during these 2 months, a little bit more than 2 months, because this was in mid-December, by mid-December, right, I already had gone through all the curriculum, all right, and it's a pretty extensive one, but I studied every single day and I didn't miss a beat about it. So I studied every single day. I had reviewed all the curriculum, but I needed practice questions and mock exams beyond those that are provided by the CAIA Association. So I bought these 3 mock exams here. But the key point is that I got access to this WhatsApp group, and this WhatsApp group, interestingly enough, and this is something that I still consider that it's not a good way to do the prep, is that in December and in January, in the whole month of January, there was almost no activity. And when I say no, I'm not going to say activity because that may mean another thing, but no interactions going on in the group. So the group was created to discuss topics of the exam. If someone had any question about it, yeah, I can put this all here. Materials. The purpose of the group was to discuss exam topics, ask or seek answers for possible exam questions, etc. It's kind of like a cache of or a well of potential people, a team of people that can basically help you in your preparation. If you have a question, put a question on the group and someone may try to answer to your question and help you in your preparation. So there was no interactions going on in the group for December and the whole month of January. All right. And for me, the key message here, or the key meaning of this, I cannot, of course, I may be wrong, but for me, I think this is a pretty clear signal that during this time, So during this time, these candidates, and I recall that were probably close to, I don't know, between, well, I'm just going to say a range between 50 and 100 people, so more or less. These candidates were simply not devoting too much thought on their, or devoted too much time, let's just say too much time on their prep. All right. And for me, this is something that I could not even fathom, because you are, if in December and in January, you are 2-3 months away from your exam. And for me, if you don't start your prep by that time already, and you are already very deep into your prep, I personally, myself, I could not even imagine how could I be ready for the exam in 2 or 3 months time. I think it's nigh on impossible, and you really are going to make things very hard for yourself, especially if you have a full-time job, because how can you go through it's hundreds of pages of topics to learn, and then it's not only the material, the curriculum, you have to devote a lot of time in practicing questions, because that's, for me, even more important than studying the curriculum. The curriculum is only for you to get a foundational knowledge, where the make or break of your actual preparation is the practice question. So for me, the fact that nobody or almost nobody was interacting on this WhatsApp group, that tells me that during this time people were simply not caring much at all for their prep. And so for me, this is something that I cannot imagine ever doing this. But in early February, of course, when I saw this, I just laughed, because there was no other reaction I could have. The group simply exploded. Simply exploded. And why do I say this? As questions, as candidates were shooting questions, almost I had to put my phone on silence, or this particular group, WhatsApp group, I had to put it on silence, because otherwise I was getting notifications every 5 to 10 minutes, and so this is basically what was going on every 5 or 10 minutes. All right, shooting questions and answers, I should say, and answers almost every 5 or 10 minutes. And this is a clear sign as well, that this is when candidates realized they need to really get moving with their prep. And likely realized they were very much without enough time to adequately prepare for the exam, right? And so for me, of course, this was super funny because I can say that I almost see this situation coming. It was very, very predictable that this would be an outcome of such slacking off. And yeah, basically at the end, this was probably one of the factors that led to many of the, of course, so it's possible that some of these candidates simply pass the exam, of course, and they pass it comfortably or by the skin of their teeth or whatever. But I would say that probably a vast majority or a significant portion of these candidates failed the exam. I know some of them failed because I actually ended up interacting with some of them on this WhatsApp group. I almost didn't waste my time answering questions to these people because I realized, all right, at this point in time, am I going to try to answer these people? Because the questions that were being asked, and this is a specific detail, these questions that were being asked, I'm going to say they were basic. Most of them were mostly basic questions. All right, and so if those were complex questions, I would say, all right, they are getting into the nitty-gritty and the real difficult stuff on the exam. So I would say they already went through the basic stuff, so they are already quite deep in their preparation. But it was not the case. These candidates, these people were mostly shooting and asking basic questions, the kind of questions that you ask only when you are very, very early in your prep. And so I decided, all right, I'm not going to bother with this by helping these people, because these people most likely are doomed, and so are doomed because they slacked off. I answered a few questions, but only complex ones, the ones that I saw that people were asking and nobody else would provide an answer. And so I went ahead and answered some of those questions, and also because I assumed that since these people were asking complex questions, all right, they got through the basic stuff, so now they are now trying to settle the last few bits of the curriculum. So for me, I decided to do that, and this continued all the way until the exam. All right, until the time my exam came around, the questions were still going. The chat was as active as could ever be, and so yeah, basically this is what happened. Now, when it comes to the exam, I believe that this was also one of the factors that led, and I'm going to show you my report. As you can see right here, this is my name, all right, the spring 2023 level 2 exam. And so as you can see, most of the topics I was among the ones that had the highest score. I had borderline only on these, and so this tells me that, looking back, and I saw how my exam was. I don't feel that my exam was anything outstanding. My performance was not that outstanding that this would be something expected, all right? But because my scores were so high on a relative performance level, that tells me, all right, my conclusion is that most of these people simply did not prepare enough. And so the largest proportion of the candidates simply were not prepared enough. And so because I was better prepared, and even though my performance, I recall, was not that spectacular, not that exceptional, it was reasonably good, I felt, but I know there are a few questions that I missed, and in the in the essay questions, I know that I did not complete all of them. All right, and so for me, I felt that all right, if I was given such strong scores on the exam, was certainly not because my performance was like I aced the exam completely 100% or very close to that. No, it was because the rest of the candidates simply did not prepare enough, and I am very strongly very confident that this was actually the case. But yeah, that is why I cannot stress this enough. If you start your preparation early enough and you begin studying, even if it's not that much per day, but as long as you keep up with your schedule every single day, and I'm going to reinforce this again because this, I cannot stress this enough, this is absolutely critical. All right, it is absolutely critical to start studying as early as you can, even from the day the exam registration opens. Right, and so if you do this, if you start as early as possible and you keep studying every single day, sometimes more time, sometimes less, depending on your schedule, you will be certainly, really certainly, ahead of most candidates in terms of exam prep. All right, most people simply cannot keep up their schedule, a study schedule from 6 months out. All right, because there are too many distractions and too many distractions like social life, work, etc. All right, and and also this is another misconception that these candidates have, and most candidates overestimate their ability to really grasp the topics of the curriculum in a shorter time window. All right, because learning these topics require reading and practicing over and over many days, over an extended period of time. Otherwise, period of time. Otherwise, our brain cannot firmly assimilate, I cannot find a better term, but assimilate this kind of knowledge. And so we will easily forget it, right? This is extremely key, all right? I cannot stress this enough. And if you do this, of course, and as soon as you and also as soon as you finish the curriculum, and by the time these candidates start their prep, you are already either finishing going through the curriculum, or already hammering those practice questions, meaning you are hours and hours, I would say tons of hours ahead of them. And whatever question, you may struggle to answer, either during practice or in the actual exam, you can be sure that those, or most of those candidates simply cannot answer it, all right? Because you know more than you will know more than them, and by knowing more than them, you will be able to get many more questions right, which they will not, all right? And if you come across a question that you cannot answer because it's far too difficult, far too minutiae involved in it, you can also sit back, relax a bit, because you're not supposed to get everything right. And for sure, these questions, either they will have to guess, and if it's a multiple choice, they will have to simply try to guess a question and put it across in a random question, in a random answer, or they will simply leave it blank if it's an essay question, or simply write some sort of nonsense which will not give them any score at all. So you will be assured that you will pass the exam, because more than your performance on absolute terms, all right, what really matters is your relative performance against the pool of candidates that you are facing the exam with, all right? And so if your I can have this, it's possible that I may have this score and simply had like a 60-70% performance on the exam only, and I failed like 10 or 15 or 20% of the questions. But because my performance was so much better than the others, it appears something like this, that it appears that I may have aced the exam, but I'm sure that it was not the case on absolute terms, but on relative terms it was a really strong performance, because the rest of the candidates simply could not perform at the same level that I did. And so that is why this is so important for you to get ahead of your competition. All right, and I cannot stress this enough. This is all that I wanted to show you. Feel free to leave your comments, your questions in the comment section below. Also, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm also available again on LinkedIn in case you want to send me a DM and discuss this topic further. And basically this is it. I'll see you all in the next one, and of course, good luck for all the candidates that will be facing the March 2025 exam. Good luck.